being a woman. It is also synonymous with celebrating our achievements, and more so to campaign or to renew the campaign for gender parity and women's empowerment. And in today's globalized and rapidly shrinking world, which is being reduced digitally day by day, when we speak about empowerment and parity, we have to think of technology and innovation per se. Indeed, डिजिटल माध्यम की, टेक्नोलॉजी की और इनोवेशन की असीमित संभावनाएं हैं लैंगिक समानता को बढ़ावा देने की, प्रोत्साहित करने की, और एज वेल एज वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट की। और अगर हम टेक्नोलॉजी की बात करें, इनोवेशन की बात करें, तो नेशनल स्तर पर, इंटरनेशनल स्तर पर हर जगह टेक्नोलॉजी एंड इनोवेशन इन दो कैंपेन्स या थीम्स के साथ जोड़ा जा रहा है। हमारी जो नेशनल थीम है दैट इज एम्ब्रेसिंग इक्विटी, एंड इफ यू टॉक अबाउट इंटरनेशनल interventions or programs or campaigning that is being carried out for women's empowerment and gender parity, we have to accept the fact that technology and innovation is an integral part of women's equality and empowerment. In fact, United Nations theme for this year's Women's Day celebration is digital, embracing technology and innovation for empowering women for gender parity, gender equality. In sync with this national and international sentiments, we are indeed very pleased to organize today's virtual panel discussion, which is on women's equality and empowerment by encouraging technology and innovations. On this day and in today's meeting, on the behalf of Indira Gandhi National Open University and Regional Center Bhopal, I once again welcome you all. And I hope that today's deliberation will go a long way in triggering the necessary sensitization in us, inspiring us, and motivating us to embrace gender equity and women's empowerment, not just in letter, but also in spirit. Before formally starting the program, I now call upon our regional director, Dr. Benny Toms, who is also hosting this meeting, to kindly welcome the panel experts and also the August gathering, and also formally start this meeting. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Kumud ma'am. Vina striya jananam naasti, vina striya gamanam naasti, vina striya जीवम नास्ति, बिना स्त्रिया सृष्टि एव नास्ति। इन्हीं भावनाओं के साथ आज हम शुरुआत करते हैं अपने कार्यक्रम को, और मैं हमारे सभी उपस्थित साथियों को हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं देती हूं अंतर्राष्ट्रीय महिला दिवस के अवसर पर। Warm greetings to each and everyone present on the program on the occasion of the International Women's Day. I take the opportunity to welcome our esteemed panelists for the day, Professor Himadri Roy, the Director in the School of Gender and Development Studies. His detailed introduction would be given by Kumud ma'am. The detailed introduction of all our panelists would be given by her. So Professor Himadri, what I can say briefly about him is he is actively involved in the development of various academic programs at IGNOU, and thereby sensitizing people about gender equality, and in other words, I can say bringing about gender sensitization. That is what briefly I can say. Warm welcome to the program.
Thank you.
I welcome Ms. Indu Sahu. I think, Indu, can you hear us?
Yes.
Thanks. Hello, Indu.
Hi.
A warm welcome to Ms. Indu Sahu, who is a social worker and founder of Chetna Women and Child Welfare Society. Very happy to see you, Indu, after a very long time. And compliments to you for the great work that she is doing in the society as far as protection and empowerment of women and children are concerned. Warm welcome to the program, Indu.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I also take the opportunity to welcome Madam Shalini Dikshit, who is the Assistant Inspector General of Police posted at the police headquarters here in Bhopal. She is another person who is right from the field. हमें पूरी उम्मीद है और पूरा विश्वास है कि जो फील्ड के हमारे साथी हैं उनके अनुभवों से हमारा ये डिस्कशन बहुत ही रिच और हम सभी लाभान्वित होंगे।
Thank you,
आपका
ma'am.
आपका इस कार्यक्रम में बहुत बहुत स्वागत मैम।
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
A very warm welcome to Dr. Kripa Shankar Chaube, who is a member of the Juvenile Justice Board. He is an expert, a master trainer, and he is well versed with many acts dealing with women and children. It's great to have you, sir, on this program. आपका भी बहुत बहुत स्वागत इस कार्यक्रम में।
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
We have a very rich panel today, and I'm extremely happy that all our panelists have agreed, accepted our invitation, and spared time for the program. So, really glad to have you all. Also on the program are people from the IGNOU fraternity. I will not be able to name everyone, but I can see Sandeep, my colleague from RC Jammu. And definitely others are there. The videos are switched off, so I'm not able to name. But we have our colleagues from the IGNOU fraternity, people from all the 56 regional centers of the country, IGNOU fraternity from headquarters, academic counselors and evaluators of IGNOU, coordinators of IGNOU, and last but not the least, and the most important, our dear students who have joined us on this program. आप सभी का इस कार्यक्रम में बहुत बहुत स्वागत। What I can say about this program is that in the past few years, we have witnessed the pandemic where there has been wide use of technology. After that, we have been given a new education policy, NEP 2020, which also talked about the extensive use of technology for progress and empowerment. So in that scenario, it is felt, as I echo with the thoughts of Kumud ma'am, what that she shared in the beginning, that in this scenario, definitely progress of all the sections of the society with the use of technology is envisioned. So we hope that with new technology, women would also get the opportunity to progress better. Their safety would be ensured to a more extent, and it would also result in their empowerment. When I talk of women empowerment, then as rightly said by Mr. G.H. Anderson, and I quote, he says that women are already empowered. They are already strong. What is required is for the society to perceive their strength in the right sense. So, with these thoughts, I'll let the deliberations begin, because we'll not take much time, because our audience would also like to listen to the varied to our speakers who are from varied fields and have got vast experience. I'll just tell you all that we'll begin this way. We'll start with uh, Professor Himadri Roy, and then followed by Miss Indu Sahu, then Miss Shalini Dikshit ma'am, and finally Dr. Kripa Shankar Chaube. All of you, each one of you may talk for 5 to 7 minutes. After that, we'll have a discussion, and then based on the questions that we have, we can have an interaction. And I hope to wind up the program before 5:15 or 5:30. That will be our plan. And I request all the participants to keep your microphones muted so that there is no disturbance in the program. जो हमारे ऑडियंस है, मैं सभी से ये गुजारिश करूंगी कि वो अपने माइक्रोफोन्स को म्यूट कर रखें, वो और उनके मन में, उनके जहन में जो भी सवाल आता है वो चैट बॉक्स में लिखते जाएं, ताकि हम उनके क्वेश्चंस को ले सकें और हम आखिरी में चर्चा कर सकें. These words, once again, extending a warm welcome to each and every one of you, and handing over the mic to my colleague, Kumud Verma ma'am, to carry on with the program.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for setting the tone and tenor for today's discussion. And as suggested by you, we would be starting with Professor Himadri Roy, and a brief introduction about Professor Himadri Roy. Sir is a faculty and a director with the School of Gender and Development Studies. His expertise lies in gender in cinema, media, literature, and LGBT studies. Before joining IGNOU, Professor Roy has also been teaching in the University of Delhi and was also in Jawaharlal Nehru University. He has done extensive work, including authoring many books, novels, articles, and research papers that have found high appreciation in both academic and literary circle. And through his work, Professor Roy has been actively breaking and deconstructing gender binaries and working towards creating a society where gender equality and empowerment is implemented, lived, and practiced not just in letter but in spirit. So, we are indeed very honored to have you in today's panel discussion. We once again welcome you and request you to share your experience and thoughts on today's theme. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, first of all, to RC Bhopal, especially Senior Regional Director Dr. Bini Toms, the Deputy Director Dr. Anshuman Upadhyay, and the ARD Dr. Kumud Verma, as well as my co-panelists, Ms. Indush Sahu, Ms. Shalini Dikshit, and Dr. Kripa Shankar Chaube. Also like to thank our university for doing lots of things that we call gender technology. I'll come directly to my talk. What exactly is gender technology? Gender technology मतलब क्या होता है? ये बहुत आम भाषा में कहे तो टेक्नोलॉजी किस तरह से घर तक पहुंचता है, ये शुरू हम देख सकते हैं 90s में. At the beginning of the globalization, we see that lots of things have changed our livelihood, or say, for example, the livelihood of women per se in kitchen, because cooking is a very important factor for women, especially has been considered in a very old tradition and a patriarchal tradition that has followed. और cooking में क्या प्रावधान किया गया 90s में, and today तो I think all household has food processor, for example, mixer, juicer, grinder. These are very important things. That's how technologically we are being advanced towards such things. Then आज आ गया, today as sitting in this today's world, post-COVID world, we see vacuum cleaners, we see air fryers, we see electric kettles, we see many equipments across home which are very gender friendly, or rather used by most of the women to cut short their household chores time. Now, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि women has been gender technologically very advanced. Innovation जरूर होता रहा है, मगर innovations का जो adaptability है, किस हद तक हमारा जिंदगी में मुयम करते हैं, वो बहुत जरूरी है जानना. So there are few things that I'll be focusing on, mainly to talk about today's generation or today's accessibility, or the characteristics of today's world where women are very important to, and the digital divide or digital technology that we talk about. First of all, it is very important to understand what is this whole idea of digital world or technology to us. Now, to understand that, it is very important what are the criteria that we think of when we say gender technology. सबसे पहले जरूरी है understand करना कि literacy and skills of what exactly is gender technology. Literacy and skills मतलब हम ये सोच सकते हैं कि literacy and skills में हमारे देश, especially हमारी university क्या कर रहा है. Most importantly, recently we have seen in last few years that our university has always been advanced in technological to breach the divide between the rural and the urban. वो divide खत्म करने के लिए university हमारा बहुत सालों से, जब से शुरू हुआ है तब से ज्ञानवाणी and ज्ञान दर्शन रखा है, जहाँ पे रेडियो काउंसलिंग, interactive teleconferencing होता है, as well as ज्ञान दर्शन के थ्रू directly हमारा जो classes है, counseling sessions है, वो directly दिया जाता है faculty and experts through the more digital mediums. Also, आज जो जनरेशन है जो ऑनलाइन कोर्सेज के बारे में ध्यान रखते हुए हमारे यूनिवर्सिटी ने स्वयं प्लेटफॉर्म एंड मूक्स का काफी ये किया है, taken a lot of initiative on that aspect. MOOCs is basically massive open online courses. वो MOOCs का lots of courses have been implemented on that. Also, along with literacy and skills, we have seen that e-Pathshala by the initiative of the government and the UGC, that e-Pathshala has also begun. This is one category. The second category is the digital divide has to be on the basis of accessibility and affordability. Accessibility of what? Accessibility of when we say जो MOOCs course लेने से क्या होता है, and who are all these people who are taking these courses, and why is affordability a big thing? Because when we talk about digital knowledge, digital technology, when we talk about technological innovations, we think of today हमारे हर किसी के हर कोई जो सुन रहे हैं हमें और पैनल दिखाई दे रहा है मुझे in front of me, all of them, I don't think their life can survive without a smartphone or their mobile phones. To be simple. Now, अगर आपका फोन का मान लो इंटरनेट निकाल दिया जाता है, तब क्या होता है? Then you can think of that's how India is today. For us who are sitting in the capital cities, in the urban setup, for us affordability as well as accessibility of smartphones is so it's like very easily and become a necessity and rather a part of our life. It is like an essential things. Like खाना पीना के साथ एक मोबाइल फोन तो होना जरूरी हो गया है. But the data of our country is very skewed up. When we look into the data, 31% women only have what you called mobile phones in this country, in comparison with 61% men having it. Out of 31%, it is very interesting to see that most of these phones, where 22.1% of the women have accessibility of internet in their smartphones. And 30% don't have any internet in their mobiles, no internet. तो मोबाइल फोन उनके लिए क्या है? सिर्फ एक एसएमएस भेजना, एसएमएस रिसीव करना और फोन कॉल करना. And that's where the division begins. 49% of women in urban setup and 25% in rural setup are women who are having mobile phones. The accessibility हम देख सकते हैं कि कितनी कम है in percentage. These are data in December that was released by one of the very known agencies, UNICEF as well as Oxfam. Quoting them, the other thing is affordability. When we say affordability, हमारे भारत सरकार is trying their level best. Since 2011, BharatNet project began, where the digital literacy are connecting all the panchayats of the country. 0.25 million panchayats have been connected. By 2014, when the National Digital Literary Mission began, we saw that most of the cities, most of the small villages, towns, two tiers, everything was connected. And Digital Saksharta Abhiyan ke antargat, Swayam, e-Pathshala, and as I was talking about, began. But under Digital Saksharta Abhiyan, what government is trying to do is build up a digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing platform, which is called Diksha and PM's e-Vidya, to make education much more accessible and much more affordable. And therefore, the internet services that we have across the country with a good bandwidth is affordable today. And especially during the COVID period, this good bandwidth and affordability had become so important, especially for the administration of the city or administration of the country and the education sector. Picking up that becomes very, very important. Now, when we see back again, like हम क्या क्या कर सकते थे? ओनरशिप के बारे में हम बातें कर लिया, एक्सेसिबिलिटी के बारे में बात कर लिया. अभी सेफ्टी और सिक्योरिटी के बारे में हम अगर बातें करेंगे तो टर्निंग बैक द पेजेस ऑफ innovations and technology along with women, it goes long way. Probably in 19th century, we have Ada Lovelace. Now, Ada Lovelace is one of the names which is considered to be the first computer programmer in the history of computing who have worked with Charles Babbage. But एडा लवलेस के नाम बहुत कम लोग जानते हैं. हम चार्ल्स बैबेज के नाम तो आराम से पढ़ लेते किताबों में, everywhere his name is always been, but Ada Lovelace's name is almost subdued somewhere in the knowledge pursuit. The second, the first women scientist, computer scientist, who reported the first computer bug back in 90s, 40s, Grace Hopper, उनका भी नाम कहीं छुप जाता है. ये तो विदेशों के बारे में हो गया. If we talk about Indian, We know about missile women. We think of rocket women. We think of polar women. All these women are part of the scientific and technological field who has brought lots of changes. For example, Dr. Tacey Thomas, who is a missile known as Missile Women of India, she has she was the head who made the long range missiles, under whom lots of missiles have been developed, especially the missiles that have been used in lots of other activities. Now, she is also well known to us, but very few learners, I would even us also, know very little about Tessie Thomas. Then Ritu Karidhar, she is the rocket women of India. Probably all of you have seen Mission Mangal and probably aware of that name. And that's where Ritu Karidhar becomes very important, very significant figure in the science and technology innovations in this country. Then we have Mangla Mani, who is the polar women, the first women scientist of ISRO. Imagine, the first women scientist of ISRO in 1950s, Mangala Mani, is considered to be taking the Antarctic journey as well as the Arctic journey at a long stretch of durations of years to discover, to invent lots of things and name India, put flags of the tricolor across the world so that people know that India is advanced in science and technology. मंगला मनी की ये कंट्रीब्यूशन शायद साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी फील्ड में जेंडर टेक्नोलॉजी एंड इनोवेशंस में जरूर आना चाहिए. एंड देन Chandrima Shah, the first president of INSA. INSA is Indian National Science Academy or Academy of Sciences. She's the first female president of the country. So you can see the science and technology में हम लोग काफी आगे बढ़ गए हैं, काफी आगे आ रहे हैं. लेकिन लिटरली लाइफ में जब देखा जाता है एजुकेशन सेक्टर में only 21%, today's last year's figure shows that IIT में 21% is women. It has rose. Gradually it has rose, slowly and slowly it has come to that level. But very interestingly, this 21% में से 89% is CS and IT के field. Parent disciplines like mechanical engineer, civil engineering, कोई नहीं पढ़ रहा है. Whereas comparison to the medical institutes, which is 41% of women are there in medical sciences. So therefore, this divide of becoming doctor or doctor is for women has been cliched in our country. That is why it is very important to talk sitting over here in the post-COVID region, post-COVID timing, and then talk about how well we are doing, what we are doing for the women to come up with technological innovations. Now, when we talk about safety and security, there are many apps that we all know. Probably apps are so common these days that we all think of apps and mobile phones coming together. But when we see the usage of this app, it's very interesting to see that women hardly uses apps, because 86% women who uses mobile phones is between 18 to 29. That is the millennial and the Gen Z generation that we call in academics. Now, 86% of women, whereas in comparison with men, which is just 80%, over there women have got higher. But the choices of internet services that they are using in their phone begins with mailing, Google Maps, health apps, especially personal health is considered. Second, very interesting, the fourth one is very interesting, that is shopping. The fifth is dating, which sounds maybe a bit awkward, but dating apps are very common among women as compared to men, in comparison to what we see from the data that has been released by UNICEF and Oxfam together. Now, 50% of the women, when we say that this number of percentages that women are with mobile phones, out of that 50% of women do not have internet in their mobile phones, which I have mentioned earlier. Now, very interestingly, what is the country doing to bring that down? Our country is trying to build up lots of things. The facts that I was talking about is the apps that bring safety and security. 112 India app, which is for women's security. My Safety Pin is for women's security. Be Safe, Smart 24 into 7 are all for women's security. But these apps are made by men. The only app that is made by women and for women's security is Shiro's. It's very interesting to see that Shiro's has the highest number of users, that is 20 million, almost 2 crore, which not only talks about safety, but also talks about well-being, also talks about jobs, also talks about relationship from psychologists and guidance, lots of things it has. So therefore, I would say that the best app for women's safety and security and women empowerment is Shiro's. Now, Shiro's, along with Shiro's, we also see that what kind of initiatives the government take beside making all digital literacy mission and digital Saksharta Abhiyan, what all have been done. Department of Science and Technology began 3 important projects. One was Kiran, under which knowledge involvement in research advancement through nurturing. Kiran is across the schools throughout India to nurture girl child to study more of science subjects. As I was saying कि parent disciplines of engineering में बहुत कम होते हैं. Civil engineering ले लो, mechanical engineering लो, उसमें बहुत ही कम लड़कियां जाती है पढ़ने के लिए, BTech करने के लिए. The other one is Curie project, consolidation of university research and innovation and excellence in women's university. This Curie project has done a lot to bring changes in perspective of the society to what women's university can do to bring up scientific knowledge among or technological thought or technological understandings among common people. Then they have recently introduced Gati project. Gati is gendered advancement for transforming institutes. Now, these are very important initiatives that government has taken in which our IGNOU is also being part of it and representing. And therefore, we have in our country, we are trying to bring down that divide that we call, though there are other intersectionalities of divisions, there are other intersectionalities of digital divide, but still the innovation and technology that when we talk about, women empowerment has gradually shown a rise from 0.6 since last 30 years, 0.6 to 27%, which is very impressive, which when we look back into the data and we understand कि हमारे देश में बहुत women आगे आए हैं. I have taken name of 4 women who are into the scientific temperament in inventions and innovations. Now, there are many. For example, in our panel, we have one AGI. Now, this is very interesting when we see Assistant General Inspector General of Police is talking about innovations, talking about. This is very important. In this panel, we have women who has grassroots experiences. One about the administration, one working with the children and women empowerment. Miss Indu Sahu and Miss Shalini Dikshit. They will also talk about how technology has advanced. Today, many women in the cities we do see are having mobile phones along with the cons that they will discuss. कि क्या खामियां होता है जब तुम अपना मोबाइल फोन हमेशा लॉग इन करके रखते हो? What are the flaws? What are the problems when we have mobile phone always on with a GPS tracking? Does it have advantages or disadvantages? That will be discussed. Thank you very much, Dr. Vinith Holmes, Dr. Anshuman Upadhyay, and Dr. Verma. I'm very happy that I could have taken a very less time and talk about it as much as I could. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very enlightening talk. You very rightly spoke about the digital divide and lack of access to technology in women's segment, which may be preventing them to transform their lives despite technological innovations being available in the society. And you also listed women achievers in science and technology, which was very inspiring. And the application, you talk about one application, She Rose, and that reminded me of a poem called Still I Rise, somehow, by Maya Angelou, and who has been a trendsetter or a very fiery inspiration to all of us in creating gender equality or women empowerment. And her words have been that all information belongs to everybody all the time. It should be available, inaccessible to everyone, whether it is the child or the woman or an old person or to semi-illiterate. It should be open. I'm sorry, I've forgotten the poem, but it went something like that. So thank you very much, sir, for highlighting the role of education, for highlighting the role of technological innovations, application, and digital empowerment for empowering women and for gender equity. We thank you once again. And now I invite our second panelist, Ms. Endu Sahu, who is an eminent social worker and has been working at the grassroots, as has been pointed out by Bini ma'am and also by Himadri sir, for empowerment of women, not just in their personal life, but also for their economic upliftment. We welcome you, ma'am, and invite you. But before inviting you to speak on the theme, I'll just like to give a brief introduction about Ma'am Sahu. Ma'am is the founder of an organization called Chetana, Child and Women Welfare Society. She has been working intensively for women and children issues since 2004. And currently, she's based in Chhattisgarh, and she's completed a lot of projects and intervention programs on reproductive child health, and has been working intensively for HIV positive mothers, and economic liberation of women, against child trafficking, against sexual trafficking, and many other pertinent issues related to women equality and empowerment. And ma'am is also associated with various national and international projects which are working in the area of economic empowerment of marginalized women, sex workers, and transgenders. Although the core areas are economic upliftment and reproductive child health, but she has been overall working towards the empowerment of women and also making them self-reliant in all aspects of their lives. We welcome you once again, Ma'am Indu, and request you to kindly take the mic and speak up about your experiences and share your experiences with us. Over to you, Indu, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Kumud. Thanks a lot. And I welcome all my other co-panelists, and a very good evening to all the students who are here and all the other team members of IGNOU. So what I think is like the technology has definitely helped women to be equal, especially in today's time. Women equality, and especially when we talk about empowerment, it has increased a lot. Now the only thing which we require now is to put these things in use so that the usage of technology can be enhanced, and the available technology should be made available to all the sections, so that women from all the sections of the society can make use of it. I have been working for so many years, and I have seen that the inventions which has come into place, which is handy now, especially the apps which are very useful, and especially these two programs of our country, which is Make in India and Local per Vocal. Since I work with the rural women and the most marginalized women of our community, what I see is that they are now uh, more economically empowered and independent. The reason being, now they can make things in their home, and they have this huge market which helps them a lot. Especially the digital market is helping them a lot. So some woman who is, producing things in the interiors of Bastar, people, uh, they can come down to a smaller city which is very near to that village, and people like us or other people who are visiting these places are helping these people to, get popular, and people are, wanting those things, and they are creating market of these kind of products, especially the local products. Now, what are the local products? Especially these people were finding it very difficult to get market, like the people who were making dokra art or things like that. And earlier we used to see all these things in big showrooms and all, which was not accessible to other people. Now, which these things are accessible to, the common people also. They can also easily buy these things because it is accessible because of the technology. And not just that, technology has not just helped women to be economically independent, it has helped in other ways also, like the mental health. But the mental health of a woman has also been affected by technology. For example, now if a woman is, say, married to a particular place which is very far from her place, and she can be well connected to her family, and she can be uh, in good mental condition, or she can have that emotional support from her family also anytime. So this is a great advantage for mental health. Plus, of course, as Mr. Himadri said, that we have a lot of apps which is helping in counseling also. So mental health has definitely improved. Their social status has also increased to a great content, and the decision making power. The decision making power has also influenced somehow because of the technology. For example, because of this technology or these apps, the women or the girls, they are they are shopping now. Earlier, when they used to shop, they were accompanied by the males of the family, and they were like told, no, you can't wear these kind of dress or particular kind of dresses. Now the girls have that power, the women have that power to buy those things, and they are wearing them despite of the fact that there might be other things. But then the male part of the male of the family is also accepting it. They are not, you know uh, they're not able to say no to these kind of things. So which is good also, and which is bad also to some extent. What I think is, and the decision making power. Now, earlier, if a woman wanted to do something, say I'm talking about economic independence, she wanted to do something, so she would need a partner, or someone to sell her product, who can go into the market and help her to sell that product. Now that thing has also decreased. Now the woman can sit at home and she can have a global market. This is a very, very positive point of technology, which is helping the woman to become economically stable, and of course get fame and the name which she wants. So it is giving an individual satisfaction also to a lot of women who are into this field, and earlier who were not able to do certain kind of things because they were not allowed to go out and work. So now, even if you're not going out of your house, you can just sit at home and do things, and be contented and be happy and be in mental peace. So, and of course the leadership is also increasing because of this technology. Though I agree that this technology part is not reaching to all parts of the society. So what we as a whole, we as a student who has access to these, help these women or these girls to use this technology. There are cyber cafes still in the backward places of Chhattisgarh, or it might be there in other places also. So these cafes can be a place where these women can, go and use internet and have access to those things which you are not able to. As Mr. Himadri has said that women do have phones, but a lot of them don't have internet connectivity. So not having an internet connectivity is a great drawback, because that again, don't give you an opportunity to learn more, because internet has even helped to women to learn more, enhance their skill, which is again affecting them positively in their development, I must say. And the third thing which I feel is the revolution, is the digital payment. Now, the digital payment part, both in the government system and in personal scenario, it has brought a lot of transparency in the society. I work with the SHGs now. If they do anything with the government, like they prepare the ready to eat food and all, so those payments go directly to their accounts, and there are no mediators who take their money, or these kind of things has also vanished. So they are getting their own share of their income, which they have earned by hard work. So what I think is, like, the need of the hour today is to um, put to use. The technology should be uh, put to use, and its availability should be increased, so that more of these women can make use of this technology. We might not be this is not exhaustive things which I am discussing. The issues are a lot, and do have the solutions. The technology does have solutions. As we work with the children, we work for on this number 1098, which is a toll free number for children. And within 20 to 30 days of the lockdown, we the child line got 92,000 calls. So these cases, if the phone would not have been there, these cases would have gone uncared if we didn't had this technology. So definitely technology is helping them, helping us to identify the crimes which are happening, and to some extent we can stop them. These helplines are a bliss for the society, especially for the women, because it is helping us to understand what are the problems the women are facing. Because you can be an anonymous caller and you can tell your problems on these numbers, and you can get immediate help. So these are the things which are helping us to lead a better life, both economically, socially, mentally, um, uh, uh, in decision making. So what I would say is, uh, we all as a team should be ready to take up at least a group of women who can be benefited by you, who doesn't have access to these technologies. So that's what I would say. And with these words, I would say thank you. And definitely, we look forward to a better world with the better use of technology, because with uh, positive part, we do have negative parts also associated with technology. So the digital well-being is a very major and important part of this. So we should take care of that also, because we as an organization has been organizing lots and lots of digital training in which they can understand that what is the thing which can help them, and what are the things which can not which cannot be helpful and can harm them. So especially the children has to be taught how to be safe. Cyber safety trainings are a must, which it should be increased, because the children are, especially the Gen Z, as we say, they are more into these social media sites, and they don't understand what is good for them. So those cyber safety trainings are a must for our society, especially the urban settlement children need these kind of safety trainings. And of course, if we think of tribal children and tribal women, firstly we have to think of making the availability of this technology to them, so that they can also be benefited, because using the technology today is very easy. It's not that difficult. Just um, with a button you can have a lot of access to knowledge and other things. So but it has to be used very carefully. With these words, I say goodbye, and thank you to each one of you who were present in this discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. You have very rightly spoken about the ground realities and how technology has been helping in transforming uh, underprivileged women into excellent entrepreneurs by connecting them to global markets, and also helping them to market their products. You also spoke about cyber safety, although you spoke about many other important things, but cyber safety has brought us directly to our next panelist, because law enforcement, it often plays a very important role, sometimes more important than education and civic action in protecting the human rights, particularly when it comes to the safety and protection of women and for safeguarding the rights of women. So we have the pleasure of having with us Madam Shalini, Assistant Inspector General of Police, who has been very actively involved in protection, nurturing, rehabilitation of women through her exclusive unit at police headquarters, which is called Crime Against Women Unit. We welcome you to this meeting, ma'am, and hand over the forum to you for sharing your experiences and ideas. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Verma ma'am. I think I am audible. I am
Yes,
audible.
ma'am. Yes, yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, yes.
Hearty good evening to all the esteemed officers of IGNOU Regional Center and all respected co-panelists. I am now coming directly to the topic because I think we are running short of time, and I won't be repeating the things as my earlier co-panelist has discussed. Certainly, the technological revolution and innovations has empowered Nari Shakti. And on this auspicious day, let me offer my wishes for Holi also, to have wishing you all a colorful Holi. And let me tell you, as it was earlier discussed, now we are at a click of button away from each other. Anywhere sitting, any pan India, pan world, we can be in touch, whether through Skype and all modes of social media platforms. What about policing, role of technology in policing? First off, every technology has, as earlier discussed, pros and cons both. So for us, technology, it is a good servant but a bad master. this technology is useful till it is helping us in sorting our day-to-day problems, in providing us all the avenues, be it economic self-sufficiency, economic independence, economic empowerment, or interconnecting with each other. Let me tell you, we have dial 100 and 112 system. This is also thanks to the technology. Now, any woman or any aggrieved person can make a call and register her or his complaint. And depending on the intensity, seriousness of the crime, the dial 100 patrolling vehicles are being sent to the spot. So what there is an immense networking of grievance redressal system. We have she-box where the working women at workplace can register their complaint. If they don't want to come in person, and then they don't want to reveal their identity, so they can certainly register their complaints to the she-box, which is done by the WCD department. And we have to teach the girl, especially the teenagers, about the good touch, bad touch, because the pornographic content is so much present in the on the social media and internet. So we have to check our, especially youngsters, because these type of crimes, elopement, sexual relations, now it's very common. I mean, ma'am was earlier talking about the tribals. We have in certain parts of the society, we talk about the system, we talk about the relations, but how to behave? What about sexual literacy? Because during the adolescence age, it is very difficult to predict what will happen. So we are getting very many cases involves the girls. 13-year Kripa Shankar sir better knows. 13-year-old, 14-year-old girl is coming and reporting the case, and she is pregnant. She don't know about what is it happening. Some so scary. There is bulging of the stomach. You have stomach ache is there. Then we take the staff victims to the for medical checkup. She doesn't know the consequences. So apart from the positive sides of the technology, as earlier during her concluding remarks, Madam was telling, we certainly need to create awareness. Awareness only can help us in overcoming all this type of untoward situations. Recently, we had a case registered in this. A lady was utilizing washroom, and her private act was being recorded, and then it was circulated. Due to the guiltiness, she committed suicide. So we have to look at the other side of the coin also. Technology, if it is used in a positive direction, certainly it has open avenues for all. But technology, being the private acts are being recorded, being shared, being circulated among the peer groups through WhatsApp and all these type of social media platforms, Facebook, matrimonial sites. Once matrimonial sites are good for matching and alliances, but if any fake information is being registered and the concerned parties get into matrimonial alliances without verification, then we all know the consequences. मेरा बेटा तो पता पड़ा साइट्स पर पड़ा है कि वेरी गॉडी पिक्चर इज बीइंग प्रेजेंटेड कि माय सन इज वर्किंग इन यूएस एंड वी आर so में elite class, we want so and so type of matches. Once the alliance is done, then they come to know the reality. So my limited point is, before embarking on such type of things, we have to go and have a physical verification. क्या है, क्या नहीं है. Recently, a case was registered in which she was having a friendship with her. She got friendship with the Facebook friend, and she went off from Mandsaur district. And certainly, due to the proactiveness of the police and one of the auto driver, the girl was being traced. Otherwise, she would have been trafficked. Trafficking is online trafficking, offline trafficking is all being due to this technology only. So certainly there are amendments. Now we have amendment. We can record the statements of the victims with the help of video cameras, and then they are being submitted before courts also. So in that way, technology has definitely helped in professional investigation. So my point is, we have to be very cautious for using the technology. Otherwise, we will be in trouble also. There are very many types of cyber crimes in which just a click of a wrong website may lead us into troubles. So the main point is, technology is a good servant but a bad master, and we all should be equipped to handle the technology. हमको किस तरह से यूज करना है, दिस इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट. हम आजकल अगर हम साइट्स, ई कॉमर्स साइट्स, Amazon, then Flipkart, then we are all placing our orders for purchase of each and everything, but we should be very cautious. पता पड़ता है कई बार हमने ऑर्डर क्या किया और कुछ और आ गया, एंड दे आर देन इट certainly it becomes troubleshooter for us. So this is my experience कि हमको हर चीज we have to take the step very cautiously. Thank you, ma'am. This is my limited suggestion. Whatever the experiences that I have gained during my posting here is, these all that I have shared through this platform. And thank you for inviting and giving me a chance to share my experiences. Thank you, Anshuman sir and ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for a very a realistic picture showing us the other side of technology, that how it can also lead us into many problems in case we do not learn to use it appropriately. Ma'am, as an IPS officer, has been very proactively involved in sensitization and protection and rehabilitation and nurturing of women's safety in Bhopal. And like you rightly said, that cyber crimes, they are the recent phenomena through which women, not just women, everybody is being scammed into uncomfortable position, and police force has been very proactively rescuing them. And we see that law enforcement has been playing a very important role in ensuring that women empowerment and safety is not compromised with. We thank you very much, ma'am. And we now have with us Dr. Kripa Shankar Chaubeji, who is a member of Juvenile Justice Board. Because we're talking about law enforcement, we also have to talk about legal interventions. And sir, as a member of Juvenile Justice Board, has been playing a very important role in arranging legal remedies to protect and safeguard the interest of juveniles or non-adults who are in a conflicting situation in terms of either being at the victim end or at the offender's end. Sir is a qualified social worker, he's a trained lawyer, he's a generalist, and he also has been volunteering extensively for as a member of civic society in the area of child development and child safety. We welcome you, sir, and hand over the forum to you to share your experiences and inputs with us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Kumud ma'am. I was listening all my co-panelists. It's really a matter of great honor. A lot many things have been said, the data and everything. So straight away I'll come to the topic: women empowerment by technology, using the technology. So it has two, I think, part. First is the women empowerment, and second is the technology. So let's talk on women empowerment first, and then the use of technology, the pros and cons of the technology, and how technology is actually affecting the youth when we talk about a majority in the country. So approximately 40% of the total population is children or under 18. So that population is highly being affected by the use of technology, the pros and cons. So जो पहला पार्ट है इसका विमेन एम्पावरमेंट की हम बात करें तो ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. पूर्ण से पूर्ण के निकालने के बाद भी यदि पूर्ण बचता है तो उसको ब्रह्म की उपाधि दी जाती है. और हमारी संस्कृति में नारी ही एक ऐसी शक्ति है जो पूर्ण से पूर्ण को निकालने के पश्चात भी पूर्ण रहती है और पूर्णता प्रदान करती है. तो विमेन एम्पावरमेंट हमारे समाज में सदियों से चलता चला आ रहा है. आज के वर्तमान परिदृश्य में एक ऐसी स्थिति निर्मित हो गई है, एक ऐसा परिदृश्य निर्मित हो गया है जहां हम महिला और पुरुष को आमने सामने खड़ा कर दिया गया है। इस स्थिति से बचने की आवश्यकता है। हमें एक दूसरे को कॉम्पीट करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। We need to be compatible with each other. We need to be comfortable with each other. We need to complement each other. और जब ये भावना हमारे अंदर आएगी कि हमें एक दूसरे को कॉम्प्लीमेंट करना है, हमें एक दूसरे को के साथ कमिटमेंट करना है, कॉम्पीट नहीं करना है, तो हमारा पूरा का पूरा जो वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट का बात है, जो वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट की बात करेंगे, उसका परिदृश्य चेंज हो जाएगा। हम घर में एक दूसरे के साथ खड़े होते हैं, एक दूसरे के विरुद्ध नहीं खड़े होते हैं। तो वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट की जब हम बात करें तो हम एक दूसरे को कॉम्पीट करने की बजाय एक दूसरे को कॉम्प्लीमेंट करने की बात करें। इतिहास गवाह है इस बात का। चूंकि मैं बच्चों के क्षेत्र में कार्य करता हूं, तो मैं कुछ बच्चों की परवरिश, कुछ बच्चों की संस्कृति के बारे में बात करना चाहूंगा। तो इतिहास गवाह है, जिन बच्चों की परवरिश, जिन बच्चों को संस्कार माताओं के द्वारा दिया गया है, उन्होंने इतिहास बनाने में अपनी भूमिका निभाई है। और कुछ ऐसे बच्चे जिनको माताओं की, मतलब ऐसे वैदिक काल से आप देखें, पिता एक है लेकिन माताएं दो हैं, रावण और कुबेर। कुबेर को हम देवता मानते हैं और रावण की क्या स्थिति है समाज में, सबको पता है इस बारे में। शिवाजी के पिता एक थे लेकिन उनकी माताएं अलग थी, शिवाजी और शक्ति सिंह। तो शिवाजी वो थे जिन्होंने सिंधवी स्वराज की स्थापना करी, और माता के अलग होने के पश्चात जो उनके दूसरे भाई थे शक्ति सिंह, उनका क्या हश्र रहा, उनको इतिहास आज किस नजर से देखता है यह भी पता है। तो मातृशक्ति और नारी का जो योगदान है समाज निर्माण में या देश निर्माण में, वो किसी भी पुरुष से बहुत अधिक है। और वो कहीं हमेशा से मातृशक्ति जो है पूजनीय रहती है। हमारे यहाँ नारी को पूजने की परंपरा है। मुझे लगता है आज हम उसको एक मनुष्य रूप में देखें तो ज्यादा उचित रहेगा। उसको भी उतने ही अधिकार मिलने चाहिए जितना पुरुषों को है, और बराबरी के बजाय हम एक दूसरे को साथ मिलकर चलें। नाउ कमिंग टू द टेक्नोलॉजी। तो प्रो कोविड अभी हमने देखा है, कोविड के बाद का समय दिया है, टेक्नोलॉजी ने कितना महत्वपूर्ण रोल अदा किया है सबकी जिंदगी में। आज हम टेक्नोलॉजी की बात करें तो ई कॉमर्स की बात करते हैं, हमारे पूर्व के वक्ताओं ने उस पर कुछ बातचीत भी की। ई एजुकेशन की बात करते हैं, ई हेल्थ की बात करते हैं, और सोशल मीडिया या ई मीडिया की भी हम बात करते हैं। ये सारी चीजें हैं जो हमें जानने की आवश्यकता है। मातृशक्ति को जानने की आवश्यकता है, नारी शक्ति को जानने की आवश्यकता है। अगर नेचुरल इंक्लिनेशन हम देखें तो हमारे समाज में आज भी जो ढांचा है, महिलाओं को या लड़कियों को हम इतना ज्यादा फ्रीली, इतनी ज्यादा फ्रेंकली टेक्नोलॉजी के इस्तेमाल के लिए प्रोत्साहित नहीं करते हैं। आज इसकी आवश्यकता है कि हम अपने बच्चों में ये संस्कार डालें कि जब भी हम टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल करें तो उसकी सावधानियों पर भी हम ध्यान दें। शालिनी मैडम ने जो बात कही, बहुत अच्छी बात की। आप एक साइट पे क्लिक करिए और वो साइट आपको कहाँ ले जाके छोड़ती है आपको पता ही नहीं चलता है। छोटे छोटे बच्चे, 14 साल से लेके 18 साल के जो बच्चे हैं या ग्रोइंग एज के जो एडोलसेंट बच्चे हैं, आज कितनी बुरी तरह से टेक्नोलॉजी से प्रभावित हो रहे हैं, उनको पता ही नहीं होता। सोशल मीडिया पे एक फेक आईडी क्रिएट की जाती है, उसके माध्यम से उससे दोस्ती की जाती है, और 2 दिन बाद बच्ची के कुछ ऐसे फोटोग्राफ्स डाल दिए जाते हैं और वो बच्ची सुसाइड कर लेती है। इस तरह के मामले हमारे पास रोज आ रहे हैं और ये मामले काफी बढ़ रहे हैं। तो यस, टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांटेज है। सर ने भी जैसे अपने इनिशियल वक्तव्य में बताया, अगर हम आज किचन में बात करें तो ग्राइंडर मिक्सर का जो इस्तेमाल करके हम बहुत सारे काम आसानी से हमारी महिलाएं कर ले रही हैं घरों का, तो उसकी अलग उपयोगिता है। तो टेक्नोलॉजी ने जिस तरीके से इंडिपेंडेंट बनाया है, और जब हम यहाँ पे इंडिपेंडेंट की बात करते हैं वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट के संबंध में, तो सिर्फ फाइनेंशियल इंडिपेंडेंट की बात नहीं करते हम। इंडिपेंडेंस का मतलब विचारों से भी इंडिपेंडेंस होना चाहिए, और वो इंडिपेंडेंट अपने छोटे छोटे काम कर ले। क्या बैंक का पेमेंट हम कर पा रहे हैं, घर की हमारी महिलाएं कर पा रही हैं बैठे बैठे? पानी का बिल भर पाती हैं क्या? कार चलाना एक छोटी सी बात है, ड्राइविंग स्किल्स है। तो ये सारी चीजों में जो टेक्नोलॉजी की बात करेंगे हम, टेक्नोलॉजिकल इनोवेशन की जब हम बात करेंगे, तो ये वो चीजें हैं जो आज महिलाओं के जीवन में बदलाव ला रही हैं, और इसके प्रति उनको और ज्यादा यूज टू होने की आवश्यकता है। और उसमें उतनी ही भूमिका महिलाओं के साथ साथ पुरुषों की भी है कि वो अपने साथी को इन सारी चीजों को लेकर के जागरूक करें और उनको इन सब चीजों को ऑपरेट करने में मदद करें। अब इस वेबिनार का उदाहरण अब हम आप देखें, अगर हम इस वेबिनार को टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से नहीं कर रहे होते तो इस पूरे पैनल को इकट्ठा करना और इतने लोगों को इकट्ठा करने में कितना समय जाता हमारा। और आज हमने एक क्लिक के माध्यम से सभी को एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे ले आए और सब लोग मिल करके इतनी अच्छी चर्चा में भाग ले रहे हैं। तो इसकी जो उपयोगिता है उससे नकारा नहीं जा सकता है। टेक्नोलॉजी के उपयोगिता का बहुत बड़ा योगदान है, बहुत बड़ा महत्व है, लेकिन उसके साथ कुछ सावधानियां रखने की भी जरूरत है। हम किन ऐप्स को यूज करें, किन ऐप्स को हम यूज नहीं करें। जब हम यूज करते हैं सोशल मीडिया में, तो हमें कितने लोगों की फ्रेंड रिक्वेस्ट एक्सेप्ट करनी है। आज हमारे पास फ्रेंड रिक्वेस्ट आती है, हम तुरंत आंख बंद करके एक्सेप्ट कर लेते हैं। क्या हमने उसको बैकग्राउंड को चेक किया है, जो व्यक्ति हमें भेज रहा है क्या वास्तव में वही है या वो नहीं है। दूसरी तरफ अगर हम इसके एडवांटेज देखें, तो मैडम ने बताया छत्तीसगढ़ में आज सुदूर अंचलों में भी जो महिलाएं काम कर रही हैं, अपने प्रोडक्ट को ई कॉमर्स के माध्यम से इंटरनेशनली भेज सकती हैं। वो एक क्लिक के माध्यम से, अपनी वेबसाइट के माध्यम से कहीं पे भी बनाया जा सकता है। एक बहुत खूबसूरत ऐड आ रहा है आजकल टीवी में गूगल का, बोल के देखो सब कुछ होगा। उसमें कुछ एक महिला है, अपनी एक चीज को वो यूएस भेजना चाहती है, और डीटीडीसी को संपर्क करती है, क्या मैं कर सकती हूँ। वो उसके पास आते हैं और सेफली उसको डिलीवर कर देते हैं। तो ये महत्व है टेक्नोलॉजी का। हम कितनी देर और कितना समय स्पेंड कर रहे हैं टेक्नोलॉजी पर, वो हमारे हेल्थ पर कितना इफेक्ट डाल रहा है, इस चीज का भी ध्यान रखने की आवश्यकता है। तो टेक्नोलॉजी निश्चित रूप से हमारे देश में, हमारे राष्ट्र में, हमारे समाज में महिलाओं के जीवन को उत्थान करने के लिए एक बहुत सुनहरा प्लेटफॉर्म है, बहुत महत्वपूर्ण योग दे सकता है अपना, अगर उसको कुछ सावधानियों के माध्यम से किया जाए तो। और उसके लिए हमें मातृशक्ति को जागरूक करने की आवश्यकता है, उसमें अवेयरनेस फैलाने की आवश्यकता है कि किन किन सावधानियों को रखना चाहिए, क्या क्या वो काम है जो करके हम टेक्नोलॉजी का बेहतर इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। तो अंत में मैं अपनी बात को समाप्त करने से पहले आप सभी को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय महिला दिवस एवं रंगोत्सव की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं, हार्दिक बधाइयां। और इग्नू के प्लेटफॉर्म पर मुझे बुलाने के लिए विनी मैडम का खास करके बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। अगर कुछ प्रश्न है तो हम ले सकते हैं। मेरी तरफ से इतना ही, धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद सर। आपने बहुत ही सुंदर तरीके से मातृशक्ति की जागरूक करने की बात और उसको महिला सशक्तिकरण से जोड़ा। और आपका ये कथन कि जो पुरुष और महिला है वो एक दूसरे को कॉम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं, ये शायद एक बहुत ज़रूरी चीज़ है, जो शायद कहीं ना कहीं शब्दों की भीड़ में गुम हो जाती है। और मैं एक कवियत्री को कोट करना चाहूंगी, जिन्होंने कहा है कि नो ह्यूमन बीइंग कैन बी मोर ह्यूमन देन अनदर ह्यूमन बीइंग, एंड आई लिबरेट यू फ्रॉम माय इग्नोरेंस। ये इग्नोरेंस ही है एक दूसरे के जो प्लस पॉइंट्स हैं और जो माइनस पॉइंट्स हैं, जिनको अगर हम नकारते हैं तो शायद ये एक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट की स्टेटस आती है। एक बैलेंस्ड व्यू, और आज का डिस्कोर्स भी काफी बैलेंस रहा। हमने टेक्नोलॉजी के पॉजिटिव एस्पेक्ट्स की बात करी, किस तरीके से टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन हम लोग की लाइफ को आसान बना रहे हैं, महिलाओं को आगे बढ़ने में और उनकी सेफ्टी के लिए आसानी कर रहे हैं, और एट द सेम टाइम अगर उनको हम अच्छी तरीके से अनइन्फॉर्म्ड अगर यूज कर रहे हैं तो किस प्रकार से हम लोगों के लिए प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट कर रहे हैं। हम ऑलमोस्ट अपने डिस्कोर्स, अपने डिस्कशन के अंत में आ चुके हैं। मैं बस थोड़ा सा समय लेकर डॉक्टर बिनी टॉम्स को इनवाइट करूंगी, क्योंकि मैम हैज had a very long association as a member and a chairperson of committee against sexual harassment at workplace. She has been working very hard to create very healthy and safe working space for all segments of gender. And I am sure that ma'am would have a great deal of inputs to make this entire discourse more enriched. Over to you, ma'am, for your brief input.
Thank you, Kumud ma'am. First of all, I would like to thank all our panelists for such a wonderful. We had such a wonderful discussion as a result of your sharing of your vast experiences. I don't think I have to. I have nothing anything more to add after hearing all of you, because you people are all from different I cannot say backgrounds, but the way you have been working has been different, all the four of you. But the kind of presentations that you have made has touched upon all the aspects of the topic for the day, because it is a very vast topic, but you have been able to touch upon the positive sides, the negative sides, the caution that we need to take. And it has been a wonderful discussion today. Professor Himadri, sir, he started with talking about the digital divide. also touched upon a few specific examples to bring out how technology has helped women. Indu Sahu ma'am has talked about the improved decision making power of women, being working with with women at the grassroots level, and in your self help groups. I think you've got a lot of experience, and that was evident from the presentation that you made. It was wonderful to listen to you, because we hardly get such an opportunity to listen to people at the field level. It was really wonderful. Maybe if sometime in future, we IGNOU also can associate with some of your self-help groups for educational empowerment. And talking about Shalini Dikshit ma'am, I liked what she said, that technology um, is is a good servant but not a good master, is a bad master. I like the way she has put it, because whatever she cautioned us about, that is also drawn from her vast experience, and she has summarized it in that line, that it may be a good servant but not a good master. So I think we should maintain that word of caution, and their sensitization among adolescents, and making them understand the need of judiciously and cautiously using technology, that is so important. Thank you, ma'am, for that wonderful aspect that you brought in. And I think Dr. Kripa Shankar Chaubey sir added to what ma'am said, and you have also brought out what you have been working in this area for a very long time, and you also added that word of caution, and also talked about our culture. You associated Matra Shakti with Nari Shakti. So I think that was wonderful the way you presented it. And definitely what is required is awareness, because that is what is missing. We hesitate to talk about these issues, but that is the need of the hour. So it was a wonderful panel discussion. What I would just like to add is that there are many subjects about women equality, which we are hesitant to talk about. In our university, well, like 3 years back, I was posted at Delhi IGNOU headquarters. So it is like a big city. But there also, when we organized some programs related to women empowerment, or some programs on Women's Day, some of the men used to shy away. They would say that there's कुछ कोई प्रोग्राम हो रहा है जिसमें औरतों का कोई अफेयर है वहां पर, कुछ चर्चा हो रही है महिलाओं को लेकर. So then we used to tell them that no, we are talking about a healthy society. Men, women, ये कोई मतलब इनके बीच में कोई there is no conflict as such between men and women. They are complementing each other, and we are talking of a healthy society जिसमें सब, जब हम empowerment की बात करते हैं, तो somewhere we are talking about, when we are talking of celebrating womanhood, somewhere it is intertwined with the importance of human rights also. Respect for each other, that is what we are talking about. Respecting each other, understanding each other. Not about, it's not a woman's affair when there is a program on Women's Day. So I think that way things have changed, but I think we have a long way to go when we actually need to understand these things. At IGNOU, just for the information of all of you, and some of the people are from outside of IGNOU, those who have joined us. I think some colleagues have joined. So I would just like to mention that at IGNOU also we have got a committee against sexual harassment at 3 levels. One is the Apex committee, which is at the IGNOU headquarters, and which looks after the policies and also answers to the government bodies and so on. Then we have the IGNOU Committee Against Sexual Harassment, ICASH, which looks after the any case of sexual harassment, or also looks after various activities related to women empowerment at the IGNOU headquarters. And then we have the RSD, Regional Services Division Committee Against Sexual Harassment, which looks after the activities of all the committees at all the 56 regional centers of IGNOU across the country. And at each regional center, we have RC CASH, that is Regional Center Committee Against Sexual Harassment. So that way, starting from an apex body to a headquarters body to a body which supervises the activities of the regional center committees, and then we have at the 4th level committees at the regional levels. And then, of course, our study centers, which form the network of our regional centers, they are also associated with those committees. So I think an effort has been made. It is never enough. When we talk of such topics, it is never enough. But at least there is a system where if somebody is aggrieved, then they can always approach these committees. And also the committee has another responsibility of क्रिएटिंग अवेयरनेस, क्योंकि जागरूकता क्रिएट करना ये भी हमारा ही दायित्व है. केसेस को एड्रेस करना ही नहीं, लेकिन जागरूकता को बढ़ाना ये भी हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, जिसको इन कमिटियों को टेकअप करना है. So I'll once again wish all of you on the eve of the International Women's Day. Usually we have lots of programs on the Women's Day, but tomorrow being Holi, all the programs have been shifted to today. And also wishes to all of you for Holi also. Happy Holi to everyone. And with these words, I'll hand over the mic to Kumud ma'am, and later on maybe Anshuman can give the vote of thanks. Over to you, Kumud ma'am.
Thank you so very much, ma'am. We have a question. I think Vikas Rawat ji has raised his hand. Vikas ji, आपका कोई प्रश्न है?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Vikas. Yes, please.
Ma'am, I have one doubt. क्या मैम इग्नू में बच्चों को जानबूझ के फेल किया जाता है?
विकास, मैंने आपको चैट बॉक्स में लिखा था, ये हमारा जो मीटिंग है ये
मैम आपने चैट बॉक्स डिसेबल करके रखा है, चैट बॉक्स में लिख नहीं सकते.
नहीं, आप इसको एक काम कीजिएगा, जो आपका ये एग्जामिनेशन से जो रिलेटेड प्रश्न है, क्योंकि आज का जो मीटिंग है, आज की जो परिचर्चा है, ये एक बड़े डिफरेंट टॉपिक में है. जस्ट एक छोटा सा मैं आपको अभी इसमें इतना ही बता पाऊंगी कि इस तरह की पॉलिसी इग्नू में नहीं है. इग्नू में जो इवैल्यूएशन की प्रक्रिया है वो टोटली ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ परफॉर्मेंस होती है. यदि कोई स्टूडेंट अपनी इवैल्यूएशन के स्टेटस से संतुष्ट नहीं है, तो यूनिवर्सिटी उनको पूरा राइट देती है री इवैल्यूएशन कराने का और ट्रांसक्रिप्ट भी मंगाने का. तो आपके पास ये ऑप्शन है, आप अपने आंसर स्क्रिप्ट मंगा सकते हैं. उसके लिए एक निश्चित प्रोटोकॉल है, परफॉर्मेंस है और प्रोसीजर है, जिसको आप फॉलो करते हैं. और चैट बॉक्स में मैंने अपना रीजनल सेंटर का ईमेल एड्रेस लिखा हुआ है. तो मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी कि यदि आज की थीम से रिलेटेड आपका कोई प्रश्न है, तो उसको इस फोरम पे आप पूछ सकते हैं. और यदि सिस्टम से लेके या सिस्टमिक सपोर्ट से लेकर आपका कोई प्रश्न है, तो आप हमारे जो ईमेल आईडी है rcbhopal@ignou.ac.in उस पे लिख सकते हैं.
मैम
एंड
ईमेल
आई
आईडी
एश्योर यू.
मैम ईमेल आईडी पे जब भी मेल भेजते हैं उसका कोई रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं आता मैम. जो टोल फ्री नंबर आपने दिया हेल्पलाइन, उस पर कोई रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं आता. और मैम ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है कि पूरे बैचमेट में सारे बच्चे फेल हो?
आप एक काम कीजिएगा विकास, आप अपना जो कंसर्न है और अपना एनरोलमेंट नंबर के साथ जो रीजनल सेंटर की ईमेल आईडी पे लिखेंगे, उसके साथ साथ आप मेरी ईमेल आईडी ले लीजिए kumudvarma@ignou.ac.in. क्योंकि ये प्रोग्राम मैं मॉडरेट कर रही हूँ, तो मैं नहीं चाहूंगी कि ये जो परिचर्चा है और एक्सपर्ट्स अपना टाइम निकाल के यहाँ आए हैं तो हम सिस्टमिक इश्यूज की बात करें, लेकिन कंसर्न अथॉरिटीज के पास मैं आपका मेल जरूर फॉरवर्ड करूंगी. ये इस फोरम में मैं आपको एश्योर कर रही हूँ.
Okay, thank you,
right?
ma'am.
Thank you so very much, Vikas. I'm really sorry for the interruption, but we normally have open sessions where we have learners who have their grievances against the system, and we do take and we
मेरी बग्गी मेरा घोड़ा तेरी माँ का पंजोड़ा.
जी. आई थिंक एक प्रश्न सर मेरा है हिमाद्री सर से, और एक प्रश्न मेरा कलेक्टिव प्रश्न है जो शायद हम लोगों के जहन में है. हम सभी को लाइक जो पैनल एक्सपर्ट्स हैं उनको बहुत वास्ट एक्सपीरियंस है फील्ड में और एकेडमिक्स में. आई एम ऑलवेज क्यूरियस बिकॉज दिस इज अ वेरी एज ओल्ड थीम विच never gets old. ये जो concern है about women empowerment, women safety, transforming women, ये और जो challenges हैं और जो opportunities हैं, they have always been there. तो over the years जो field experiences हैं उसमें किस तरह का बदलाव देखा है कि जो complaints आ रही हैं, जो training needs हैं या empowerment की needs हैं, वो किस तरीके से बदल रही हैं? यदि इस पर प्रकाश आप डाल सकें तो.
थैंक यू कुमुद फॉर दिस वंडरफुल क्वेश्चन. एक जाहिर सी बात है कि शुरू के दिन में जब ट्रेनिंग होते थे, शुरू के दिन में जब एम्पावरमेंट की बात होती थी, तो हम सबसे पहले लिटरेसी की बात करते थे. अब लिटरेसी इन द सेंस लाइक कितना पढ़ना लिखना आना चाहिए, अपना सिग्नेचर करना चाहिए, बैंकिंग डॉक्यूमेंट्स को अच्छी तरह से हैंडल कर पाए, ये सारी चीज़ें हम एक टाइम पे देखे गए थे। अब धीरे धीरे ग्लोबलाइजेशन के साथ साथ हम कंप्यूटर लिटरेसी की बात करते हैं। आज जहाँ पे हम खड़े हैं वहाँ पे हम डिजिटल लिटरेसी की बात कर रहे हैं। जैसे एग्जांपल्स डॉक्टर कृपा शंकर जी भी दिए हैं, हमारा अदर पैनलिस्ट मिस शालिनी दीक्षित दी है, इंदू जी ने अपना सारे एनेक्डोट्स देते हुए कहा है कि डिजिटल लिटरेसी जो है, मोबाइल हमारे हाथ में है, किस तरह से हम पेमेंट कर रहे हैं, किस तरह से हम पेमेंट रिसीव कर रहे हैं या दे रहे हैं, सेंड कर रहे हैं, ये सारे जो एम्पावरमेंट है वो ग्रेजुअली मूव किया है ऊपर की ओर, जहाँ पे लिटरेसी रेट अगर हम देखते हैं, यहाँ पे बहुत सारे हम इंदु मैम शायद हमारे एग्री करेंगे कि एसएचजीज ने काफी हेल्प किया है ये सारे डिजिटल लिटरेसी को आगे बढ़ाने में। वी हैव इनफैक्ट गवर्नमेंट हैज अ सिस्टम कॉल्ड डिजिटल दीदी, जहाँ पे डिजिटल नॉलेज को ग्रास रूट पे ले जाने के लिए काफी हेल्प किया जाता है। बैंक अकाउंट कैसे एक्सेस करे, ये पेमेंट नॉर्म्स, यूपीआई कैसे एक्सेस करे, पेमेंट नॉर्म्स कैसे हो, सारे प्रोसीजर्स जो है आज वहां पे पहुंच गए हैं मुकाम पे। ये भी देखा गया है जो चेंजेस ऑफ एम्पावरमेंट है, दैट चेंजेस है फोकस्ड from one particular kind of family or one particular kind of issue to today in a different form of issues. डोमेस्टिक वायलेंसेस की बातें करें तो डोमेस्टिक वायलेंसेस एक अलग दिशा में आ गए हैं। आज हम फ्रॉम जॉइंट फैमिली वी हैव मूव टू सिंगल पेरेंट फैमिली आल्सो। द सेटअप ऑफ द सोसाइटी हैज चेंज सो ड्रास्टिकली इन 30 इयर्स दैट पोस्ट कोविड के बाद बहुत सारे इंफॉर्मेशन एंड टेक्नोलॉजी जो हमारे हाथ में हमेशा आते हैं वो काफी बदलाव हुआ है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल आई विल कोट अ केस रिसेंटली हैपेंड इन गुड़गांव, जहां पे एक माँ अपने बच्चे को 3 साल तक घर के अंदर बंद करके कैद करके रखा था ताकि उसको कोविड ना हो, अपने पापा से भी नहीं मिलने दे क्योंकि पापा बाहर काम करने जाते थे। Now this is a certain kind of health issues that has been dealt with, and as I said कि इसके प्रोज एंड कॉन्स भी होते हैं, बहुत सारे प्रोज एंड कॉन्स है डिजिटल लिटरेसी का। तो ऑल दिस मूवमेंट दैट द एम्पावरमेंट दैट वी टॉक अबाउट हैज मूव्ड अ ड्रास्टिक शिफ्ट फ्रॉम वन पर्टिकुलर एस्पेक्ट टू अनदर पर्टिकुलर एस्पेक्ट। आज हम कम्युनिटी लिविंग की बात करते हैं, आज हम कम्युनिटी हेल्थ की बात करते हैं, आज हम मेंटल हेल्थ की बातें करते हैं, बिसाइड अदर काइंड्स ऑफ हेल्थ इश्यूज वी डू टॉक अबाउट इमोशनल हेल्थ अ लॉट। आज कोरोना से हम लोग काफी चेंजेस हुआ है एंड वी अंडरस्टैंड दैट द हेल्थ इशू ऑफ नॉट ओनली बॉडी, the physical body or biological body, but also the emotional health matter करते हैं। वॉश जो यूनिसेफ ने वॉश प्रोजेक्ट शुरू किया था जहाँ पे सैनिटेशन एंड हाइजीन की बातें होती थी, वहां से शिफ्ट करके आज हम देखते हैं कि कहाँ पे हम इमोशनल हेल्थ की बातें कर सकते हैं। इमोशनल हेल्थ के प्रोजेक्ट में हम देखते हैं जो ई विद्या के प्लेटफॉर्म्स है, वहां पे लिटरेसी ऑफ किस तरह की डिसऑर्डर, साइकोलॉजिकल प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं, सारी चीजों का हम मुआयना करते हैं। बड़े शहरों में आज साइकोलॉजिकल काउंसलिंग बहुत नॉर्मल हो चुका है आफ्टर कोविड। ये शायद 10 साल पहले मुमकिन नहीं था। कोई भी प्रॉब्लम हो तो हम अवॉइड करते हैं, किसी भी औरत को कोई तरह की मानसिक कुछ भी ये होता है तो हम अवॉइड करते, वो भी बातें नहीं करते अपने बारे में, क्या व्हाट इज शी अंडरगोइंग, शी नेवर टॉक्स अबाउट इट, द प्रेशर्स ऑफ वर्क प्लेस, द प्रेशर्स ऑफ द फैमिली, कुछ भी नहीं बातें करते, कुछ भी नहीं शेयर करते थे। 10 साल पहले इट वाज ऑलवेज सबड्यूड और केप्ट इनसाइड, जिसके कारण हमने देखा इमोशनल हेल्थ हैज गॉन drastically down. But COVID say people have become much aware of their own health and own not only physical health but also emotional health and mental health. That is kind of empowerment काफी हुआ है, I think so. हाँ कुमुद जी,
Thank you so very much, sir, for a very enlightening discourse about the transformation that has taken place over these years. Uh, uh, अभी शायद कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है, तो विद द परमिशन ऑफ द रीजनल डायरेक्टर वी कैन move to the last phase of today's discussion, to the vote of thanks.
Ma'am, can you add something?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, so your question only, the
Yes, sir.
challenges and the kind of modifications which have been done in the training modules. So this is the important fact that earlier, if you talk, you were, if suppose somebody is going for lodging an FIR, it was a very lengthy process, and most of the cases FIR was not even lodged. But now, if you see the policing is, I mean, suddenly changing towards the social policing, and that's because the courtesy is all because of the technological advancement only. Because if some police officer is not listening to your words, you can directly send a Twitter and you can tag to the chief minister, the prime minister, or the head of the department. So that kind of a challenge is being now taken up by the government institutions also in their training schedule, in their training modules also. Recently, Madhya Pradesh police has launched a new scheme, and they have opened a new Mahila Thana somewhere near to old old control room. So you should go and just visit the kind of infrastructure they have created. You may not feel that you are entering into a police station. So these kind of facilities are there. If you talk about the domestic violence cases, the crime against women, the crime against child, all these things will be taken care from that desk only. So the kind of challenges which we are facing as a government organizations, so we are trying to inculcate all those things in our training modules also, so that we can serve the society in a better and an improvement way. So the question that the challenges which you put, yes, the judiciary, the police, the law, everyone is, trying to gear up with all these innovative ideas, and that all because of the technology only. So that's the role of technology is coming in making the entire society empowerment. Yeah, that's
Thank you
what I.
so very much, sir, for making the entire discussion a very comprehensive discourse on the use, how technology has been transforming the society per se. I thank all the panelists, and now I request my colleague, Dr. Anshuman Upadhyay, to please propose the vote of thanks.
मैम आई हैव वन मोर डाउट।
Yes, Vikas.
मैम पेपर में फेल किया वो तो ठीक है, लेकिन मैम ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है कि पूरे डिग्री वाले हमारे बीकॉम वाले बैच में सिर्फ एक बच्चा पास हुआ, वो भी थर्ड डिवीजन में? और मैम
Uh,
असाइनमेंट में भी काफ़ी लोगों को फेल किया है, तो असाइनमेंट के नंबर किस प्रकार से डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किए जाते हैं? मतलब इतना लिखने का
विकास,
फ़ायदा क्या है
ये
जब फेल
ये
ही होना है तो?
विकास, ये फोरम नहीं है आपके जो असेसमेंट में आपकी जो dissatisfaction है, क्योंकि we do not have the data also, and the right thing would be to give your enrollment number and write to the regional center along with the specific details कि कौन सा कोर्स में आपको मार्क्स आपको satisfactory नहीं मिले हैं।
मैम हमारे बैच में असाइनमेंट में भी बच्चों को फेल किया है, तो मैम असाइनमेंट के में कैसे नंबर डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किए हैं?
आप एक
असाइनमेंट में
मेल
इतना अच्छा बनाया था।
आप एक मेल प्लीज डालिएगा, मैं
मैम
फिर
मेल का
रिपीट।
रिप्लाई नहीं आता मैम, आज तक एक भी मेल का रिप्लाई नहीं आया, अभी तक किताबें भी नहीं आई मैम, 4 महीने हो गए रजिस्ट्रेशन कराए हुए। मैम पिछले फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर में भी किताबें अक्टूबर में आई थी, एग्जाम से 1.5 महीने पहले।
फोरम पे विकास अब क्या सोल्यूशन चाह रहे हैं हमसे?
Because I'm sorry to interrupt in between, because that's what we have been discussing. You are not using a technology in a right way at a right platform. So please let us. The time is
Sir, I
very
know it is
precious
a
for
very
everyone.
official meeting,
Please,
but sir, it is
please,
very,
please,
but
we have to
sir,
go
it is
somewhere
very.
also. You raise your voice at a different platform, because please.
This is not the right platform. Yeah. So, ma'am, with your permission, can we conclude today's discussion?
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Over to Anshuman for kindly proposing the vote of thanks. Anshuman.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मैम। सबसे पहले मैं सभी उपस्थित गणमान्य व्यक्तियों को रंगों के त्योहार होली की बहुत बहुत हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। साथ में अंतर्राष्ट्रीय महिला दिवस की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं और अनंत बधाई। आज का जो ये प्रोग्राम हुआ, जो पैनल डिस्कशन हुआ, इसके जो एस्टीम पैनलिस्ट हमारे डायरेक्टर स्कूल ऑफ जर्नलिज्म एंड डेवलपमेंट स्टडीज के डॉक्टर हिमाद्री रॉय सर, आपके उद्बोधन से निश्चित तौर पर जो आपने जिन पहलुओं को उठाया, खासतौर से डिजिटल डिवाइड और किस तरह से ये जो हमारा हाफ पॉपुलेशन है उसको ये इनहेंस कर रहा है, एम्पावर कर रहा है, और आपके विचारों को सुन के निश्चित तौर पे हम लोग को नए एज अ एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन कुछ नया करने का और इस डिवाइड को कम करने का जो भी प्रयास हो सकता है हम लोग करेंगे। सर, हम लोग आपको आश्वस्त करते हैं। सर, आपका इग्नू क्षेत्रीय केंद्र भोपाल की ओर से हृदय से धन्यवाद और आभार। मैं अपने हृदय के अतल गहराइयों से आभार व्यक्त करना चाहता हूँ मैडम इंदु साहू मैम का, जिन्होंने छत्तीसगढ़ में बहुत सारा कार्य किए हैं और उन्होंने जो फील्ड रियलिटीज हैं वहाँ के बारे में बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल्स दिए और उन्होंने बताया कि किस तरीके से जो एम्पावरमेंट आ रहा है और लाया जा सकता है। मैम, आपका भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और आभार। मैं विशेष धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा मैडम शालिनी दीक्षित मैडम का, जो सीधे पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर वुमेन सेफ्टी से जुड़ी हुई है और उनके पास बहुत सारे केसेस आते हैं जिसमें वो कार्य करती हैं और उनका एक विशेष लगाव है इस तरह की चीज़ों को करने के लिए। और जो उन्होंने मैरिज ब्यूरोज और उससे जुड़े हुए टेक्नोलॉजिकल वल्नरेबिलिटी के बारे में बताया, वो निश्चित तौर पर एक कंसर्न है और वो हमारी पूरी सोसाइटी के लिए कंसर्न है, जिसमें ज़्यादा वल्नरेबल हमारे माताएं बहनें रहती हैं और खासतौर से हमारे पुरुष भाई भी कई बार वल्नरेबिलिटी के शिकार हो जाते हैं। मैम, आपके इस सारे उद्बोधन के लिए क्षेत्र के भोपाल की ओर से, सभी सुनने वालों की ओर से आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा डॉक्टर कृपा शंकर तिवारी सर का, जिनका बड़ा लंबा अनुभव है जुवेनाइल जस्टिस का, जो कि बहुत महत्वपूर्ण चीज़ है, जिसमें बच्चों द्वारा कई ऐसे क्राइम हो जाते हैं जो न चाहते हुए और उनको पता नहीं रहता कि इसका पूरी जिंदगी में क्या क्या हो सकता है। और आपने टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में, टेक्नोलॉजी के यूजफुलनेस के बारे में और जो उसके डेफिसिट एंगल है वो बताया। सर, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और आभार। मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा अपने क्षेत्रीय निदेशक डॉक्टर विनीत टॉम्स मैम का, जिन्होंने बहुत ही सरल शब्दों में कहा कि जो ये इस तरह के कार्यक्रम होते हैं वो पूरी सोसाइटी को ट्रांसफॉर्म करते हैं। और मैं ये समझता हूँ कि ये मेरा व्यक्तिगत विचार है कि जब हम अंतर्राष्ट्रीय महिला दिवस मनाते हैं तो हम अपने आप को एम्पावर करते हैं। अगर हमारी बेटियाँ, हमारी बहनें और हमारे घर में हमारी माताएं, हमारे अर्धांगिनी, सब लोग एम्पावर रहेगी तो पूरा सोसाइटी एम्पावर होगा और हर तरह के चीज़ों में खुशहाली होगी। तो इस तरह के दिवसों पर मैम का बहुत अच्छा योगदान रहता है और हम लोग अक्सर इस चीज़ को करते हैं और एक शैक्षणिक संस्थान की ओर से महिला शिक्षा से सशक्तिकरण लाने की प्रयास हम लोग मैम के अंतर्गत करते हैं। मैम, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और आभार। मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा डॉक्टर कुमुद वर्मा मैम का, जिन्होंने बहुत ही अच्छे से संचालन किया। कुछ एक दो विद्यार्थियों को जिनको ग्रीवियंस है और मुझे उनको भी उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे से डील किया। हालांकि कुछ जब विद्यार्थी कभी उत्तीर्ण नहीं कर पाता है तो कई बार ऐसा होता है कि वो सारी जिम्मेदारी जो है संस्था पर देता है। संस्था तो एक न्यूट्रल है और एक कहावत भी कहते हैं कि परीक्षा में पास और फेल होना परीक्षार्थी के हाथ में। तो मैम, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आपने बहुत ही सकुशल संचालन किया आज के मंच का, इसके लिए आपका आभार। मैं आभार व्यक्त करना चाहूँगा मेरे और साथी डॉक्टर सुभाष रंजन नायक, डॉक्टर स्मृति गार्गव, डॉक्टर मिस्टर सीपी मुर्सिनिया और जो और भी हमारे क्षेत्रीय केंद्रों से जुड़े, जैसे डॉक्टर संदीप जम्बू से जुड़े और एवं अन्य जबलपुर से भी हमारे क्षेत्रीय निदेशक महोदय जुड़े थे, उनका भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और हृदय से आभार। इसके बाद मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा सभी विद्यार्थियों का जो कई स्थानों से जुड़े हैं और इस टेक्नोलॉजी की मदद से जिनको इस विषय में भी रुचि है और इस क्षेत्र में कार्य करते हैं, इन सभी को भी धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा। अंततः अगर मैं इस पूरी टेक्नोलॉजी को धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा, क्योंकि ये जो टेक्नोलॉजी है 20 मार्च 2020 के पहले नहीं जानी जाती थी। जब पहली बार लॉकडाउन हुआ उसके बाद से हम लोगों ने इस टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करना शुरू किया और अब एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म बन गया है कि हम बिल्कुल सजीव रूप से छत्तीसगढ़ से बैठे, भोपाल से बैठे, दिल्ली से बैठे लोगों से जुड़ सकते हैं, वार्ता कर सकते हैं और उनकी बातों को सुन और समझ सकते हैं। तो इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं एक बार पुनः सभी को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय महिला दिवस की बधाई देते हुए अग्रिम त्योहार होली की भी बहुत बहुत बधाइयाँ और अनंत शुभकामनाएं देता हूँ। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और नमस्कार।
धन्यवाद।
Thank you so very much, Anshuman. I think now we can close the meeting, and on behalf of IGNOU Regional Center Bhopal, we once again